Jun Kim stood at the window of his tiny office, looking out at the vast space station that housed the Galactic Council. His office was barely bigger than a closet, tucked away in the basement level where the air smelled stale and the lights flickered. This was what the mighty aliens thought of Earth and its people. A joke. "Ambassador Kim," a voice called from the doorway. "Your meeting with the subcommittee has been pushed back." Again. Jun turned to his assistant, a young man named Min who looked as tired as Jun felt. "That's the third time this week," Jun said. "Let me guess, something more important came up." Min nodded. The representative from Seoul needed to discuss their new entertainment broadcasts. Jun sighed. Entertainment. Meanwhile, Earth's request to join the Galactic Council as a full member had been sitting on the agenda for 6 months. "Thank you, Min. Take the rest of the day off. There's no point in both of us wasting time here." After Min left, Jun sat at his desk and opened his computer. The screen showed the latest news from the galaxy. His heart sank when he saw the top story. The headline read, "Humans, adorable pets, who learned to build spaceships." Below it was a video of Council member Tazver, a tall blue-skinned alien from the Varian species, speaking to a crowd. Jun pressed play. "These humans," Tazver said with a laugh that sounded like rocks in a blender, "they think because they figured out faster than light travel, they deserve a seat at our table. Would you let your pet sit at your dinner table because it learned a new trick?" The crowd roared with laughter. "They spend most of their history killing each other over bits of land and invisible sky gods, and now they want to join us. Perhaps we should give them a treat instead." More laughter. Jun closed the video, his face burning with shame and anger. His computer beeped. A message from Earth from the president herself. Jun opened it quickly. "The video is everywhere." The message read, "What are our options?" Before Jun could reply, his office door slid open. 3 aliens walked in without knocking. 2 were Mrikians, short green beings with 4 arms. The third was a tall purple creature with eyes on stalks. "So this is where they keep the human," the purple one said loudly. "I told you they were real, Kraz." "I know they were real," one of the Mrikians replied. "I just didn't believe they let one into the council station." They stared at Jun like he was an animal in a zoo. "Can I help you?" Jun asked, trying to keep his voice steady. "It speaks," the purple alien said with delight. "Say something else, human." Jun stood up. "I am Ambassador Jun Kim of Earth. This is an official diplomatic office. Please leave if you don't have business here." The aliens looked at each other and burst out laughing. "It thinks it's a real diplomat," the Mrikian named Kraz said between laughs. "That's so cute. Take a picture with it," the purple one urged, pulling out a device. Jun walked to the door and held it open. "Out. Now." Still laughing, the aliens left, but not before one of them patted Jun on the head like a dog. Back on Earth, Dr. Han Su watched the video of Tazver for the 5th time. Around her, the laboratory was quiet. Her team had gone home hours ago, but Han couldn't stop thinking about the humiliation Earth was facing. On her screen, a simulation ran, showing strange energy patterns that her team had discovered in human brain scans. Patterns that didn't appear in any alien species they had data on. "They think we're a joke," she said to the empty lab. "But they don't understand what humans are capable of." Her computer beeped, showing that the simulation was complete. The results made her eyes widen. "This changes everything," Han whispered. She reached for her phone to call the president. Soon, the galaxy would learn that humans were no laughing matter. Dr. Han Su had not slept in 36 hours. Her eyes were red, but she could not stop smiling as she looked at the test results on her screen. "Run it again," she told her assistant, Hoon. "I want to be sure." Hoon nodded and started the test again. In the glass chamber in front of them, a small metal ball sat on a platform. A young woman named Ji sat in a chair facing it, her head connected to wires. "Focus, G," Han said softly. Just like before. Jay closed her eyes. Her face tightened as she concentrated. The sensors showed her brain waves changing, forming the special pattern Han had discovered. The metal ball moved. It didn't just fall over. It floated up into the air. Perfect. Han clapped her hands. That's 5 successful tests in a row. The door to the lab opened, and Captain Da Park walked in. He wore a simple military uniform with few markings, but his straight back and sharp eyes showed he was important. "Dr. Han," he said with a small bow. "The President sent me. She wants a report on your discovery." Han pointed to the floating ball. "This is the report, Captain." Day's eyes widened. Are you using hidden magnets?" "No magnets," Han said. "No tricks. This is pure human ability, enhanced by my team's device." She pointed to the small box connected to G's head. "We call it the determination wave theory." Determination wave. Da looked confused. Han pulled up images on her screen. "Look at these brain scans. This is a human brain." She pointed to colorful patterns. "And these are scans from 12 different alien species. Notice anything?" Day looked closely. "The patterns are different." "Exactly. All humans have this special brain wave pattern. It appears when we face challenges, when we refuse to give up." Han's eyes shined with excitement. "No other species has it. We've checked all the data from the galactic database. Only humans have this." "What does it mean?" Day asked. "It means," Han said, "that humans can harness quantum energy through sheer will, through determination. The device we built amplifies this ability, letting us affect physical objects." Jai stood up from her chair, removing the wires. "It feels like pushing with your mind," she explained. "At first, it's hard, but then something clicks, and—" The pen on Han's desk suddenly floated up without any wires connected to G. "Once you learn how, you can do small things without the device," Han said. Day stared at the floating pen until it dropped back to the desk. "Can everyone do this?" "To different degrees," Han nodded. "Some people, like G, have natural talent. Others need more training and the device to help. And aliens can't do this at all." "Not a single one," Han confirmed. "Their brains don't form the right wave patterns." Day walked around the lab, thinking, "Why didn't we discover this before?" "Because we needed to see alien brain scans to notice our difference," Han explained. "And because the effect is normally too small to notice without our amplifying device." Day picked up the small box that had been connected to J. "And this makes it stronger." Han nodded. "We call it the Defiance Engine. Right now, it can help move small objects, but with more power and refinement. It could be a weapon," Dai finished. "Or a tool," Han said quickly. "It depends on how we use it." Day's phone rang. He answered it, listened, and his face darkened. "Turn on the news," he said. Han grabbed the remote and turned on the screen on the wall. Ambassador Kim's face appeared. He looked angry as he spoke to reporters. "The Galactic Council has voted," Kim was saying. "They have decided Earth would be better as a protected nature preserve and comedy show." His voice shook with anger. "They want to restrict our space travel and put alien observers on our planet. They even want some of us to perform for tourists." Han turned to Da. "They can't do this." "They think they can," Daz said. His eyes moved to the Defiance Engine in his hands. "How quickly can you make more of these? Better ones?" Han smiled slowly. "How quickly do you need them?" Ambassador Jung Kim straightened his tie as he walked into the Great Hall of the Galactic Council. Today, he would try one more time to change their minds about Earth. He carried a tablet with videos of human art, music, and new scientific discoveries. Maybe if they saw more of human culture, they would treat Earth with respect. The hall was huge, with seats for 500 alien representatives. High above, glass windows showed the stars. June was given a small desk at the very back. far from the important speakers. The human will now present reasons why Earth should not become a protected reserve, announced the council leader, a tall alien with skin like silver metal. June walked to the center of the room. Many aliens laughed or whispered as he passed. "Thank you for allowing me to speak," June began. He touched his tablet, and images appeared on the big screen behind him. Beautiful paintings, great buildings, and scenes of nature from Earth. "Earth has a rich culture and history," Jun said. "Our people have created art, music, and literature that." Yes, very cute," interrupted a familiar voice. Council member Tazver stood up from his seat, like children drawing with colored sticks. Some aliens laughed. Jun tried again. "We have also made scientific progress. Our scientists have recently discovered." "Playing with toys and calling it science," Tazver said, earning more laughs. Jun felt his face grow hot with anger, but he kept his voice calm. "Earth asks only for fair treatment and the chance to join the galactic community as equals." Tazver walked to the center of the room, his blue skin shining under the lights. He was 2 heads taller than Jun and looked down at him like someone would look at an insect. "The council has already voted," Tazver announced. "Earth will become a galactic nature preserve and comedy theater." The room filled with amused sounds from the alien representatives. "What does that mean?" Jun asked, though he feared he knew the answer. Tazver smiled, showing teeth that looked like small white knives. "It means Earth will be protected by us. The Varians will ensure humans don't hurt themselves or others." He touched his own tablet, and new images appeared on the screen. The first showed human ships being stopped by Varian patrol ships. "Limited space travel, only with our permission," Tazver explained. The next image showed alien observers walking among humans in a city. "Cultural observers on your planet, to help guide your development," Tazver continued. The final image showed humans performing on a stage while aliens watched and laughed. "And a yearly human circus, where selected humans will entertain galactic tourists. Your people are naturally funny, after all." The hall filled with laughter. Some aliens banged their seats to show approval. Jun stared at the images, unable to believe what he was hearing. This wasn't protection. It was prison. It was slavery. "Earth will never accept these terms," Jun said, his voice now shaking with anger. "You have no choice," Tazver replied with a smile. "The Varian fleet is already on its way to your solar system. They will arrive in 30 days to begin the protection process." Jun looked around the hall. Most aliens were still laughing or talking excitedly about the human circus. But he noticed a few who looked uncomfortable. One in particular, a female alien with light purple skin and large eyes, was watching him with what seemed like sympathy. Jun made a decision. He walked right up to Tazver, standing as tall as he could. "You may laugh now," Jun said, his voice carrying across the suddenly quiet hall. "But humanity has faced extinction many times throughout our history. Diseases, wars, disasters. We survived them all. We're still here." He looked directly into Tazver's eyes. "Remember that." Then Jun turned and walked out of the hall, leaving his tablet behind. In the quiet hallway outside, the purple-skinned alien appeared beside him. "Ambassador Kim," she said softly. "My name is Rin. We need to talk." Dr. Han Su hadn't left her lab in 5 days. Empty coffee cups sat on every flat surface. Her team worked in shifts, but Han refused to rest. "Try again," she told the young soldier in front of her. He held a small metal device in his hand that looked like a thick bracelet. The soldier, part of Captain Daz's special team, pointed at a target across the room. Han checked the readings on her screen. "Your focus is too scattered. Remember what I told you. Clear your mind and focus on one single thought. Move." The soldier took a deep breath. The bracelet on his wrist glowed blue. Across the room, the target shook, then slid across the table. "Better," Han said with a tired smile. "But still not enough power. We need to make these stronger. The door opened, and Captain Da walked in. He had dark circles under his eyes, too. Progress? He asked. Han pointed to a chart on her screen. The Mark III Defiance engine can move objects up to 10 kilograms. The Mark IV can disrupt electronic systems within 5 meters. That's not enough to stop a Varian warship, Da said. No, Han agreed. But we're working on Mark V now. She pulled up a new design on her screen. This one doesn't just enhance the user's abilities. It combines the power of multiple users. Da studied the design. How many do you have ready? 5 Mark IVs for your team to train with, Han said. Mark V will take another week. We have 23 days until the Varian fleet arrives, Da reminded her. We'll be ready, Han promised. In a small dark room deep inside the Galactic Council station, Jum Kim met with Rin, the purple-skinned alien who had approached him after his disastrous meeting with the Council. Why are you helping me? Jun asked. Won't you get in trouble? Rin's large eyes blinked slowly. What the Council is doing to Earth is wrong. My people, the Talons, were treated the same way 50 years ago. Now we are little more than servants to the Varians. She handed Jun a small data device. This contains security codes for the Council's communication systems and the patrol schedules for ships near Earth. Jun looked at the device in surprise. This would be considered treason by the Council. Yes, Rin said simply. But sometimes doing what is right means breaking unjust rules. Jun carefully put the device in his pocket. Thank you, but I need to know more about the Varian fleet. Their weaknesses. Rin looked nervous. That information is highly guarded. But she hesitated. There is a Talon who works in the Varian ship maintenance facility. I will see what I can find out. On a military base hidden in the mountains of Earth, 30 soldiers stood in lines. They each wore a Mark IV Defiance engine on their wrist. At the front, Captain Da demonstrated how to use it. The device enhances your natural human ability, Da explained. But the power comes from you, from your determination, from your anger, if needed. He pointed at a heavy metal door across the training room. His bracelet glowed blue, then shifted to a deep, angry red. The door creaked, then tore from its hinges and flew across the room. The soldiers stared in amazement. Each of you will become the most powerful weapon Earth has ever produced, Da continued. You will train 16 hours a day until the Varian fleet arrives. One soldier raised her hand. Sir, even with these devices, we're just 30 people. The Varians have a whole fleet. Da smiled grimly. We don't need to destroy their fleet. We just need to take control of it. He activated a screen showing a space battle simulation, but instead of Earth ships firing on Varian ships, it showed small teams boarding and capturing the alien vessels. Operation Defiance, Da said. We're not going to fight them. We're going to steal their own ships from under them. The soldiers looked at each other, some with doubt, others with growing excitement. Now, Da said, pointing to practice targets. Show me what humans can really do when we get angry. Admiral Lee stood on the bridge of Earth's largest spaceship, the Defiance. It was small compared to alien ships, but it was the best Earth had. Through the front window, he could see the Varian fleet appearing out of light speed. 5 massive warships, each one bigger than a small city. They're hailing us, sir, said the communication officer. Admiral Lee straightened his uniform. Put them on screen. A blue face appeared on the main screen. The Varian commander had 4 eyes and skin that shined like metal under lights. I am High Commander Zol of the Varian Protection Fleet, the alien said. We are here to establish protective oversight of Earth, as ordered by the Galactic Council. Admiral Lee nodded politely. I am Admiral Lee of Earth's Space Navy. We received word of the Council's decision. The Varian looked pleased. Good. Then you will escort us to your main government center to begin the protection process. Before that, Lee said calmly, I would like to invite you to my ship to discuss the terms. The Varian commander laughed. Discuss. There is nothing to discuss. The terms have been decided. Still, Lee insisted it would be proper protocol for commanders to meet, unless you are afraid to visit a small human ship. The Varian's 4 eyes blinked in surprise. Then he laughed again. Very well. I will humor you, human. Prepare to receive my shuttle. 30 minutes later, Commander Zoll sat across from Admiral Lee in the ship's meeting room. 2 Varian guards stood behind their commander, looking bored. They clearly didn't see humans as a threat. Now, Commander Zoll said, placing a tablet on the table. These documents outline Earth's new status. You will sign them, and the protection will begin. Admiral Lee took the tablet and read it slowly. His face showed no emotion as he read about restricted space travel, alien observers on Earth, and the human entertainment performances that would be required. Then, to the shock of the Varians, Lee broke the tablet in half with his hands. Earth rejects these terms, Lee said, his voice still calm but firm. Commander Zoll stood up, his blue skin darkening with anger. You have no choice in this matter. The Galactic Council has decided. Earth recognizes no authority from a council that treats us as pets rather than equals, Lee replied. He stood too, facing the much taller alien without fear. Here are our terms. The Galactic Council will recognize Earth as a sovereign species with full rights, or Earth will demonstrate why humans should never be underestimated. The Varian commander stared at Lee, then burst into laughter. Demonstrate? With what? Your tiny ships. Your primitive weapons. He pointed out the window at his fleet. One of my ships could destroy your entire planet's defenses. You have 24 hours to contact the Council and reconsider, Lee said, ignoring the threat. After that, we will respond accordingly. Zoll's face darkened even more. You are in no position to make demands, human. You have 24 hours to sign a new copy of the agreement, or we will begin necessary pacification measures. The Varian commander turned and left with his guards, still chuckling at the human's boldness. As soon as they were gone, Admiral Lee pressed a button on his wrist communicator. They're heading back to their fleet. Begin Operation Defiance. In the launch bay of the Defiance, Captain Da Park and his 30 Special Forces soldiers prepared their small black shuttles. Each soldier wore a Mark V Defiance engine on their wrist. The devices glowed with a soft blue light. Remember your training, Day told his team. Our objective is to capture, not destroy. Use lethal force only if absolutely necessary. The soldiers nodded. They had trained for this moment for weeks. They knew what was at stake. For Earth, Daz said. For Earth, the soldiers repeated. As the Varian ships moved into blockade formation around Earth, 6 small black shuttles slipped away from the Defiance. They were nearly invisible against the blackness of space, their engines running in stealth mode. Inside one shuttle, Captain Da looked at his team. They think humans are weak and funny, he said. Let's show them how wrong they are. Captain Da's shuttle approached the largest Varian ship without being detected. The shuttle was small and painted black, and the special stealth system made it invisible to Varian scanners. Prepare for boarding, Da told his team of 6 soldiers. Each one checked their Defiance engine one last time. The devices glowed softly on their wrists. The shuttle attached to the hull of the huge Varian ship. No alarm sounded. Using a special cutting tool, they made a hole in the hull just big enough for a person to fit through. Remember, Da whispered, use the phase shift only when necessary. It drains the battery quickly. He activated his Defiance engine first. The blue glow spread over his body, and Da focused his mind on a single thought. Asterisk passed through asterisk. His hand became slightly transparent, and he pushed it through the solid metal of the ship's hull. It felt like pushing through thick jelly. One by one, the team phased through the hull and into the ship. They found themselves in a storage room with no Varians present. Team 2, report, Da whispered into his communicator. On board Ship 2, came the reply. No detection. Team 3. Same. We're in. All 6 teams had successfully boarded the Varian ships. Operation Defiance was underway. Day checked the ship map that Rin had provided through Ambassador Kim. Engine control is 3 levels down. Bridge is 5 levels up. We split into pairs. Dai and a soldier named Sun headed for the bridge. They moved through the corridors carefully. When they heard Varian crew members approaching, they activated their Defiance engines and pressed against the wall, focusing on becoming unnoticeable. The Varians walked right past them without seeing them. The Defiance engines didn't make them invisible, but they could bend light and attention around them, making them easy to overlook. When they reached the door to the bridge, Dai saw it was guarded by 2 armed Varians. He nodded to Sun. They both activated their Defiance engines to full power. The blue glow turned deep red as they channeled their determination. With a sharp hand movement, Dai pushed with his mind. The 2 guards flew backwards as if hit by an invisible fist, crashing into the wall and falling unconscious. The noise alerted the bridge crew. The door slid open, and a Varian officer stepped out to check on the guards. Dai and Sun rushed forward. Sun used her Defiance engine to disable the officer's weapon, while Dai phased partly through the floor, then resolidified his body to trap the surprised alien. "What is this?" the trapped officer gasped. "How are you doing this?" "Human trick," Dai said simply. Then he and Sun burst onto the bridge. On the bridge, Commander Zol and 10 other Varians turned in shock. Before they could react, Sun used her Defiance engine to pull all their weapons away, the guns flying across the room. Day stood in the center of the bridge, his Defiance engine glowing red with power. "This ship is now under human control," he announced. Commander Zol reached for an alarm button, but Day gestured with his hand. The commander froze in place, unable to move. "Impossible," Zol whispered. "Humans don't have this technology." "Not technology," Day corrected. "Ability. Something only humans have." His communicator beeped. "Captain, Team 2 reporting. Ship 2 secured." Another beep. "Team 3. Ship 3 secured." One by one, all teams reported success. Within 6 hours, the entire Varian fleet had been captured without firing a single shot. Admiral Lee's voice came through on the main channel. "Captain Day, status report." Day looked at the shocked face of Commander Zol. "Operation Defiance complete, sir. All Varian ships secured with minimal casualties. No fatalities." On his own ship, Admiral Lee smiled and opened a channel to the Varian flagship. The surprised face of Commander Zol appeared on screen. "Now," Lee said calmly, "about those terms we were discussing." News spread fast through the galaxy. Humans had taken control of an entire Varian fleet without firing a shot. The species that everyone laughed at had done the impossible. The Galactic Council called an emergency meeting. Council member Tazver demanded immediate military action against Earth. Other members argued loudly about what to do. In the middle of this chaos, the main doors of the council chamber burst open. Ambassador Jun Kim walked in, his head held high. Behind him came Dr. Han Su, carrying a small case. "How dare you enter without permission?" Tazvar shouted, his blue skin dark with anger. Jun ignored him and walked to the center of the chamber. The room fell silent as everyone stared at the human who would defy the council. "I come with a message from Earth," Jun announced, his voice strong and clear. "The Varian Protection Fleet has been reassigned." Tazver stepped down from his seat, towering over Jun. "Your people have committed an act of war. The consequences will be severe. We will send 100 ships to your planet. Those ships would meet the same fate," Jun replied calmly. "Perhaps a demonstration would help you understand." He nodded to Dr. Han. She opened her case and took out what looked like a metal bracelet. She put it on her wrist, and it began to glow with blue light. "What is that device?" asked the council leader. "This is the Defiance engine," Han explained. "It amplifies an ability that only humans have." To prove her point, Han looked at Tazvar's ceremonial staff, which was leaning against his seat 10 meters away. She focused her mind, and the Defiance engine glowed brighter. The staff shook, then floated into the air and across the room into Han's hand. Gasps filled the chamber. Some council members stood up in alarm. "This is not possible," Tazvar whispered, his eyes wide. "No species has telekinetic abilities." "Not telekinetic," Han corrected. "It's based on quantum manipulation through neural patterns unique to humans. What you see as our primitive nature is actually our greatest strength." June stepped forward again. "Humans evolved on one of the harshest planets in the galaxy. We faced predators, natural disasters, diseases, and our own wars. We nearly destroyed ourselves multiple times, yet we survived. Each challenge made us stronger. We spent our history fighting and overcoming impossible odds," Han continued. "This shaped our brains differently than any other species. We can channel determination in ways you cannot." June looked directly at Tazvar. "You thought this made us weak and entertaining. We're here to correct that misconception." The council chamber erupted in frightened voices. Some members called for weapons, others for peace talks. Suddenly, a new voice cut through the noise. "Ambassador Kim speaks the truth." Everyone turned to see Rin, the Talon diplomat, standing from her seat. "For too long, the Varians and other powerful species have kept the rest of us down," Rin declared. "They mock lesser species while stealing our resources and restricting our development." Other representatives from smaller, less powerful species began to stand and speak up, sharing stories of how they had been mistreated by the council leadership. Tazvar looked around in shock as his support crumbled. "This is treachery," he shouted. "No," Jun replied. "This is justice. Earth doesn't want war. We want respect and equal standing." He pulled out a tablet and held it up for all to see. "These are our terms for peace. A reorganized galactic council where all species have equal representation based on merit, not power. The immediate release of all restricted technologies to developing species, and recognition of Earth as a full council member." June's eyes swept the chamber. "You have 24 hours to decide. Choose wisely." Dr. Han returned Tazvar's staff, placing it gently on the floor. "We could have come with weapons," she said quietly. "Instead, we come with an offer of fair treatment for all. That is the true human way." As they turned to leave, many council members were already discussing how to meet Earth's terms. The age of laughing at humans was over. The Galactic Council chamber was in chaos. Some members shouted for war against the humans. Others argued for accepting Earth's terms. In the middle stood Tazvar, still fuming with anger. "We cannot give in to human demands," he shouted. "They are primitive. They don't deserve equal standing." Dr. Han, who had remained in the chamber with Ambassador Kim, stepped forward again. "Perhaps a more complete demonstration will help you understand what humans are truly capable of." She touched her Defiance engine and closed her eyes. The blue glow spread up her arm and across her body. She raised both hands in front of her, palms facing each other. Between her hands, the air began to shimmer and twist. A small point of darkness appeared, no bigger than a marble. It spun slowly, pulling light into it. "What is that?" gasped the council leader. "A controlled quantum singularity," Han explained, her voice calm despite the obvious effort on her face. "What you might call a small black hole. Don't worry, I'm containing it." The council members stared in horror and amazement. Creating and controlling a singularity was far beyond the technology of even the most advanced species. "Impossible," whispered Tazvar. "No species can do this." "Humans can," Han said, gently closing her hands. The singularity disappeared. "But we don't want to use these abilities for war. We want peace and cooperation." A new voice spoke from the audience. "They're telling the truth about cooperation. I've seen it myself." Everyone turned to see Rin standing again. Her large eyes shone with determination. "The Varians have lied to us all," Rin announced. "I have proof." She held up a data device. This contains records showing how the Varians and several other dominant council species have been suppressing technology and development in other species for centuries. Rin walked to the center of the room and inserted the device into the council's main computer. Screens around the chamber lit up with documents, charts, and recordings. They restricted our access to faster-than-light travel, said a representative from a small green species. They stopped our medical research, added another. They took our resources and gave us nothing in return, a third voice called out. More and more representatives stood up, sharing stories of how the powerful species had kept them down. The council chamber, once divided, began to unite against Tazver and his allies. June looked at Tazver. You didn't just mock humans. You've been treating many species unfairly. Tazver backed away as more council members approached him. This is all lies. The lesser species need our guidance. No, Jones said firmly. What everyone needs is equality and respect. He turned to address the whole council. Earth proposes a new galactic charter. All species will have equal representation. Technology will be shared, not restricted. And decisions will be made by vote, not by the most powerful. The council leader, who had been quiet until now, finally spoke. The human proposal has merit. We have allowed injustice to continue for too long. Tazver shouted in protest, but guards were already moving to surround him and his supporters. Rin approached June and Han. Thank you for giving us all the courage to speak up. You were the brave one, June said. Without your information, we couldn't have exposed the truth. Han looked around at the council chamber, where representatives of dozens of species were now talking excitedly about a new beginning. This is what humans do best, she said softly. We don't just survive obstacles. We change things for the better. The council leader called for order. We will vote on the Earth proposal immediately, and we will investigate the crimes committed by Tazver and his allies. As the voting began, it was clear which way it would go. The era of oppression in the galaxy was ending, and it had taken humans, the species everyone laughed at, to make it happen. June turned to Han with a small smile. Not bad for a species that was just a joke to the galaxy. 6 months passed. The Great Hall of the Galactic Council looked different now. The high seats that once separated powerful species from lesser ones were gone. All seats were now on the same level, arranged in a circle around a central speaking area. Ambassador Jun Kim, now wearing the formal robes of Earth's galactic representative, looked around with pride. What had once been a place of mockery for humans was now a place of respect. The first session of the reformed Galactic Council is now open, announced the new council leader, a wise old alien from a species that had once been considered too simple for leadership. June took his place in the circle. Next to him sat Rin, now the official Talon ambassador. They shared a smile. Their friendship had grown strong during the months of reform. Our first item, the council leader continued, is to welcome 3 new species to the council. They have achieved faster-than-light travel with the help of shared technology. 3 new representatives entered the hall. They looked nervous but proud. Just 6 months ago, they would have been laughed at or ignored. Now they were welcomed with applause. In another part of the galaxy, Captain Da Park, now General Park, walked through a large training facility. Soldiers from 12 different species practiced using simplified versions of the Defiance engine. None could match humans' natural ability, but many were learning to use basic energy manipulation. Focus your mind on a single goal, Dai instructed a group of young aliens. The power comes from determination, from refusing to give up. A young Talon student managed to move a small ball across a table. Her face lit up with joy. Excellent, Dai said with a smile. Remember this feeling. This is how we grow stronger together. On Earth, Dr. Han Su stood in her laboratory, now much larger and filled with scientists from many planets. They worked together, sharing knowledge that had once been kept secret by the powerful species. Dr. Han called a young assistant. The new Defiance engine design is ready for testing. Han nodded. Let's see it, The new design was smaller and more efficient. It could be used for healing, for building, for exploration. What had started as a tool for defense was becoming a tool for progress. Perfect, Han said. Begin production for the medical teams first. Back in the council chamber, June and Rin stood together at the center, presenting their new project. The Galactic Cooperation Initiative will connect all species, June explained. Knowledge, resources, and cultural exchange without restrictions. Rin added, all species have something valuable to offer. Together, we are stronger than we ever could be apart. The council voted unanimously to approve the initiative. As they left the chamber, June noticed a familiar blue face in the crowd. Tazvir, once the most powerful council member, now served as a junior assistant to the new Varian representative. His species had not been banned from the council, but those who had abused power had been removed from leadership. Tazvir lowered his eyes when he saw June looking at him. The human gave him a small nod, neither gloating nor angry. Justice had been served, and that was enough. That evening, in a park near the council building, Dr. Han addressed a gathering of scientists, diplomats, and students from dozens of worlds. The galaxy laughed at humanity because they didn't understand us, she said. Our greatest strength isn't technology or physical power. It's our refusal to accept limitations, our ability to face impossible odds and still believe we can win. That's the true human spirit, and we're ready to share that spirit with our galactic neighbors as equals. The crowd applauded. Among them, a small Varian child turned to his teacher, a human named Jin. Is it true humans were once considered jokes? The child asked. Jin smiled and knelt down to look the child in the eyes. Yes, but the best jokes always have unexpected punchlines. The child thought for a moment, then laughed. I understand now. The joke wasn't on humans after all. No, Jin agreed with a smile. It wasn't. And across the galaxy, a new era had begun. An era where no species was a joke, and all could reach for the stars together.